Okay. This video is going to be extremely rushed. I hope it doesn't give that vibe off. I apologize in advance if it does. There's a reason for it. And that reason is I recorded the game that I wanted to play too late in the day. And so it didn't work out. So what I'm going to do instead is something extremely spontaneous. We're going to play Cobblemon, which, if you don't know, is Minecraft but with a Pokemon mod. I'm just going to see how it goes. There won't be a second of this world played outside of the video. I'm not going to do any like off-screen stuff. There are going to be cuts, but at the beginning and end of every video, I will show that cheats are off or anything like that. I may not need to. I would love to quickly get our prayer and verse done for the day. Also, making a 2-episode appearance, you'll see when the other one comes out, Orange Jesus. My sister Olivia is the one who asked me to put him on there. So today he's got orange because it is her favorite color. Shout out to all the people whose favorite color is orange. And today this verse is going to be dedicated to growing new beginnings, because Minecraft is all about starting from nothing and growing up and building things that you need. And that's what we're going to be looking at today. And our verse is Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11, which is, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope." And now we're going to move to our prayer, which is, everyone fold your hands. Dear God, thank you so much for the foundations that you have supplied us with, whether healthy or unhealthy. They have grown us and allowed us to live in a world where negativity and hostility grow. It allows us to use your word to fuel ourselves as we push above these things and create from the foundation of nothing. In your name we pray. Amen. Thank you guys so much, and let's get into the video. All right, here we go. So we're going to make a new world. We're currently preparing for world creation. Let's hope we don't crash. We're going to call this world New Beginnings. I can't spell. Okay, sorry about that. That was unfortunate. We've got some game rules now. The only ones that I'm interested in are these miscellaneous. So it's command, that doesn't matter. Starters will be shiny. We're not going to have that on because it just feels like cheating. The goal of this run is to get as many shiny Pokemon as possible and complete the Pokédex, as obviously those are the goals of the game, except the shiny one isn't as much. But completing the Pokédex, I guess, is going to be our main goal. I'm going to do my best to have every Pokemon that has been implemented into this mod pack, and we're going to start that now. All right, we have started. I started right here. I dug these blocks out because I was having some issues, but we can see the first Pokemon we ever see is right here. Adorable. Now, the first step, as it told us down here, is to press C to start. Use your Pokemon E, begin your new adventure. That's obviously a typo. And what I want to do is I want to have a pretty view when we pick. Get on the top of this tree. Look at this awesome world. And pick our Pokemon. Now, what I'm going to do is, you're going to have to give me a minute. I'm going to put every Pokemon on here onto a spinning wheel. And we're going to see which one we get. So give me just a second. All right, here's our starter Pokemon wheel, and let's spin it to find out what starter we're going to get. Alright, and we got Froakie, which is an awesome starter Pokemon. Cannot wait to adventure with my little guy. All right, here we are back in Pokemon, and I believe he's a Kalos starter, which he is. This is our dude, Froakie. So excited to get started. Froakie, I choose you. And now we have our Froakie. Whoa, and a bunch of stuff, including a map to our first Pokemon gym. First things first, we're going to get back off these trees, find ourselves safely on the ground, and meet Froakie for the first time, and that spot looks real good to me. That's where we're going to go. Alright, here we are. We are successfully at the spot we were just right up there a second ago. It is now time to meet our buddy, Froakie. And he is absolutely adorable. I love him so much. But here it is, we can give him an item. So I'm going to just go ahead and give him one of these berries. So when we get into combat, he can heal himself because these berries restore 10 HP. Their health goes below half. And he is so cute. And if we scan him, you can see that he's a level 5 water type. Now it's going to be very useful, this Pokédex, later, but first things first, what I want to do is get out of this birch forest because, sorry to you birch lovers out there, but I can't do it. I was swimming to get out of here, but then I found these leaks here, which are very useful, and that's going to give us an achievement. These are what we're going to use to make potions later once we find a village, or once we make it to the end and can make a brewing station. Or brewing stand. Ooh, and here we come across something awesome, and this is an apricorn tree, and we already on the first apricorn got what we needed, getting our achievement, which is doing my part. We have received both an apricorn and an apricorn seed, which will allow us to plant a black apricorn tree once we get to our home. We get to the place that I plan on building a base at. I see a new tree type coming up here, and I'm very excited to see what type it is. That looks like dark oak, which happens to be my favorite tree type, so hopefully that's what it is. It will allow us to start making some tools, which are not as useful as they are in normal Minecraft, but they still are useful. And it is dark oak, which is going to be awesome. Give me just a minute to mine this tree. Alright, and that is the entire tree. I did make a crafting table while we waited. Just to craft this axe that I have. And you can see here we have a bunch of Pokemon that spawn all over the place. I cannot tell what level this Pokemon is. We're getting like level 18, which is definitely not in my current abilities. So what we're going to do is cut through this forest, because as you can see on our map here, that first base is seeming up and to the right, and I don't think that we're that far from it. Ooh, that was almost bad. Let's get into this forest and see what we find. And while we go, because I don't want to be boring, and I'm sure that it is better for me to talk about my goals than to just let you guys assume what they are. My first things first is obviously to build a house. I want to get a good Pokeball production going. I would love to have at least one type of every apricorn available to me. And I would also love to make a Pokemon Center. Now what I'm going to hopefully do is be able to hollow out one that already exists, but if not, I'm going to have to make my own. And the first step to a Pokemon Center is getting one of those like healer stations or healing stations. And the only way I know to get one of those is to craft them. Because I don't believe you can take them from the Pokemon centers. So I'm going to have to make my own. So it looks like I'm going to be building my center from the ground up. Now I'm seeing a Pokemon here that I absolutely adore, called a Sandygast. Because it's just a haunted sandcastle, and I absolutely love it. So let me see if I can get close. There it is right up there. I don't know if you could see it when it moved by there. But it is definitely over there, and I'm definitely excited. I'm going to see what level it is and see if I can try and catch it. My big goal for some shinies is finding my favorite ones. And Sandygast happens to be one of my favorite shinies, and I do think that I'm able to take it. So we're going to move into our first Pokemon battle here between my little Froakie and between Sandygast. Now you have a lot of options when battling a Pokemon. You have switching, which if I had another Pokemon, I could switch to them. You have catching, which if I click this, I can throw a Pokeball and try and capture that Pokemon. Mankey wants to be part of it. I've added him to the Pokédex. Or you can run, which if I literally run away, it will leave the fight, or I can fight, which is what I'm going to do. Now, Sandygast is a level 8, meaning he's a little stronger than me, but he is a ground type, meaning my water type moves are going to be stronger. So I'm going to go ahead and lower his attack stat just in case he decides he wants to attack me, but he didn't, which is good. And then I'm going to hit him with a bubble. That did decent damage, not great. And he hit me with that Astonish, which did hurt a lot more than I expected it to. What we're going to try and do is bring this Sandygast super low, maybe with one more bubble, and then hit him with a Pokeball and try and catch him. See, our Froakie just ate our berry, and now we're almost back up at full health. Now that we've hit Sandygast with a move that has brought him down to 28, I'm going to click on Catch, and I'm going to try and catch him. Awesome, so now we have a Sandygast on our team. Let's take a look at him. Look at him, isn't he awesome? Now he is low health because we did just bring him down in battle, but what we're going to do is we are going to... Actually, you know what, you can stay out, because I think you're cute. What we're going to do is we are going to try and find a village or Pokemon Center to heal him, but over there, I don't know if you can see, I did not mean to do that, I'm going to have to go get those, are some blue apricorn trees, which happen to be half of what makes my favorite Pokeball, so I will see you guys in just a minute when I get over there. It looks like I was right in my assumption, and that these are the blue apricorn trees. Now, all I can hope is that I get an apricorn sprout from them. That doesn't look like luck is on my side today, which is unfortunate, but that's okay, because there is another one that I thought I saw. Not a seed coming from that one. Not a seed coming from that one, and that looks like probably all of them on this tree. It is, unfortunately, but that is okay. We will find them eventually. Oh, look at that. There's a Ditto right here, being friends with this Shedinja. And I don't think I'm going to attempt to catch it, because I do think Dittos have a high catch rate. I'm not going to waste my Pokeballs on that. Again, what I'm looking for currently is a city, or at least a gym, somewhere with a healing station that I can start farming out items. I do also want to catch a bird early on, because bird Pokemon are really great for travel. You can fly around on them. This area looks like an area that I might want to take advantage of, so I'm actually going to pull out my crafting table, make myself a little pickaxe, and get to work on mining some stone. Alright, so I have grabbed a stack of stone. Ooh, here's some cobblestone. And the stone is going to be useful for making a furnace, because certain things that we need in this mod can only be acquired by smelting items. So I am glad to have been able to find the materials I need, so I don't have to worry about that anymore. Though stone isn't hard to come by, finding it on the surface is a lot better than having to go down into a cave. And finding so many surfaced ores is nice too, but we will come back for those if we need them. Here we have one of my favorite Pokemon. It is Phantump. It is level 6, so I'm going to go ahead and try and catch it, because I think that it would be an awesome addition to our team. Plus, having a ghost type is going to be super useful when going against normal type Pokemon. And considering a lot of normal type Pokemon spawn early game, it's going to be really nice to have. I just hope I don't kill it. But it looks like neither of these moves work, so I'm going to have to use my not effective moves on him. And this is going to take a minute. Oh, there's another Phantump right there. But we're going to keep trying. And hopefully, if we do get brought lower, we don't lose Froakie. I'm going to use Bubble again, just because, again, we're chipping away at health here. Trying to knock this guy down. And we are going to switch over to our Sandygast, just because I don't want to lose Froakie just yet. Also, Sandygast is bigger and a little tankier, so hopefully that's going to be useful. Sandygast having the ability that it does will also give it some health back here, hopefully allowing some lengthening. And though it didn't seem to do much, I'm hoping this doesn't kill. Unfortunately, we don't get the chance. My Froakie is at 1 health, so I'm really hoping that I can catch it here, because if not, I'm going to have to leave and come back later. Not that Phantump is a rare Pokemon, but... Perfect. That is exactly what I was hoping would happen. So we now have a Phantump on our squad, which is going to be great. And actually, what we can do is harvest some of these berries, and then you can come here. Whoops. I'm going to take this Pokedex out of my hand for just a minute, and we're going to feed you both. Perfect. So our Sandygast is fainted, unfortunately, but there is our Phantump. Adorable. You're going to get a berry. You're going to get another one, because that's the only reason we caught that Phantump. We're going to look back at our map, and we do need to move pretty much straight north before we can come across this Pokemon Center. Or not Pokemon Center, but gym. So I will see you guys if we find anything else cool. It looks like my dinner is ready, so I'll be back in just a minute. All right, sorry about that. Took me a little bit. Went and ate some dinner. It was absolutely fantastic. So what we're still trying to do, and I completely forgot to do, is... Yep, okay, so we're keeping an eye on our map. I have a question for you guys to answer for me, and you can do this in the comments if you would like to. But in Minecraft, if you've ever played Minecraft, what is your favorite, like, item to get or achievement to get? Or, like, what's your favorite accomplishment every time you play Minecraft? And if you don't play Minecraft, what is your favorite ice cream flavor? Because me personally, I'm a cookie dough guy, but also bubblegum and cotton candy. Those might be hot takes, but I love them personally. I'm curious as to know what you guys are thinking. Now, hopefully, I want to talk about my goals a little bit more, to give you guys something to listen to while you watch me run towards this location. But, when I build a house, or once I get to the house that I'm building, I want to do... There's a really cool mod in here that I hadn't seen before called Chest Upgrades, and it allows you to upgrade the effectiveness of your chests, so like they can hold more, you can stack more in chest slots, and it's going to be really, really nice to have that when we collect as many items as we do, because this mod adds a lot more items, or this mod pack adds a lot more items to the game. And so I'm very excited to see the amount of storage capacity we can have, and that right there is one of my absolute favorite Pokemon. Golisopod. Believe it or not, if you guys, you probably have at least heard of it. If you've ever played Pokemon Go, that Pokemon right there was my first ever, or Wimpod, which is the evolution before that one. Wimpod was my first ever 100% IV Pokemon. And if you don't know what IVs are, I'll show you real quick. So on a Pokemon, you've got stats called, they're normal stats, and these are just their base stats. You've got their base stats here, and you go to IVs. Now, IVs are values called individual values. They cannot change. And your Pokemon, when it is created into the game, they spawn with them, and these are boosts to their stats, right? So if they were all maxed out, this whole hexagon would be purple, which would be a 100% IV Pokemon. EVs are like the same things, except you can train them by fighting Pokemon. And then in other here, you have your friendship and your Dynamax level. And we will get to the Dynamax stuff in just a little bit. And I see some iron over there, which is going to be super nice. I'm going to grab as much coal and stuff as I can and these materials as we're on our way, because I want to be able to not have to leave and not have to go anywhere once we start building our house. Now, in this mod, there are some things called waystones, and we're going to be grabbing those
anytime we can, because waystones are going to kind of be our key to travel. Because this mod's going to have us moving around a lot of different places. And I don't want to do all that on just my feet. Also, I apologize for the amount of cuts I'm going to have to do in this video. It's just, one, it's hard to be entertaining at the beginning of Minecraft just because it's all just like breaking blocks and stuff and there's no fun stuff happening. I'm also really congested and like feeling gross in my face. So I'm trying my best to be entertaining through that, but I'm going to have to cut out a lot of the like nasty sounds that I have to make. So, and here we've got the pink apricorns, which are not as useful, especially considering I didn't get a seed, but they're still okay. Now this, I believe, is called a Gimmighoul Tower. Gimmighoul is a Pokemon that is... it's a ghost type, and it's a hoarder, that like hoards gold coins and stuff. And I think in this tower, there's a chance of them spawning. And there's two forms they come in. One of those forms... Ooh, there's that waystone thing I was talking about. I want to see if I can grab it. Yeah, I'm going to take this waystone. This is going to be our home waystone. Coins. Oh, yep, here we go. Yep, okay, so here's the Pokemon I was talking about. It's a Gimmighoul. I'm probably not going to be able to defeat it, but it would be awesome to add it to the squad. So I'm going to try anyways. Now, normal type moves are not effective against ghost type, so I'm going to have to use my water type moves. Luckily enough, they're my stronger moves. And it's looking like if he hits me here and it does a lot of damage, yeah, I'm going to have to get out of here. I definitely cannot do this fight. I'm going to take these pots and see what we got. So we got some heal powder, some remedy, and a bunch of bricks, which is going to be nice, but I'm going to have to see if there's a way I can jump off of here. There's not a way I can jump off here, so I'm going to have to just quietly walk away from the fight. So that is another way, by the way, that you can get away. If you get enough distance between you and the Pokemon that you're battling, you will escape from them, and you can continue doing what you were doing previously. But obviously that's not the goal, because you get materials and money from defeating Pokemon, or you can take the chance to catch them, which is also very useful. We're getting, it seems, we're getting closer to... Interesting. I'm going to mark that, actually, on my map. Little mushroom right over there. We're going to make it a dark gray waypoint. Now, I'm curious to see, there's a thing that says teleport to waypoint. Yes, okay, so we cannot do that. I saw that and I was wondering if that would be more useful than the waystones, but we cannot teleport because I don't have cheats on. So like I said previously, all travel is going to be difficult. And I'm going to do my best as well to research some of these mods to make sure that they are, to make sure that I understand them. I'm going to go against this Impidimp over here, just because I feel like I don't see this Pokemon a lot, and I would love to add it to the Pokedex. So I go ahead and do that here. Catch it. Perfect. Now we have ourselves an Impidimp. And I don't know much about this Pokemon, but what we can start doing, if you guys would like, is I'm going to start making it a habit, and let me know in the comments if you like the idea. But for every Pokemon we catch, I will read their Pokedex entry. And if I ever miss one, let me know. And we will do that. I can probably actually do that now. Alright, so the first one I came across was Phantump. And it says, with a voice like a human child's, it cries out to lure adults deep into the forest, getting them lost among the trees. Next we have Sandygast. The Sandygast are very protective of the shovels embedded in their heads. However, it doesn't seem to be made of any known material. Alright, and now we've got Froakie, my starter. And it says, it protects its skin by covering its body in delicate bubbles. Beneath its happy-go-lucky air, it keeps a watchful eye on its surroundings. Finally, we have Impidimp, which is a dark fairy type. And it says these mischievous Pokemon live in groups deep inside dark roofed forests that the undead call home. Impidimp will often follow explorers passing through their forest home, watching and giggling as they're swarmed by monsters from all angles. This is because Impidimp feeds off of negative emotion, so a traveler confounded by zombies, skeletons, and spiders alike is a feast for these diminutive rascals. And we can see on our map here that we are starting to discover the land, which means we're close. We're going to start heading this way. Yep, and there's our arrow pointer. Which means on our actual map at the top right, soon we should be seeing our destination. Alright, so this is actually a really, really good site. If you see on my map in the top right, we're actually extremely blessed. We got a gym in this city, which means that we have found both our city and our gym at the same time, and this is going to be awesome. We've got some houses here, and I'm probably going to go around looting them, but I'm not going to make you guys watch that. So I will be back when I finish raiding this village. So I'm sure you guys can tell that there's a weird cut here. I recorded for way longer than I meant to. The footage was over an hour for the video that I was trying to make for the first Minecraft episode, and although that would have been fun to release, not many people are going to watch it. It's an hour-long video, and it's way too much to edit. It is midnight right now, and I'm just finishing editing, and I decided, you know what? We'll release the 26-minute video, and then I'll do the rest of it tomorrow. I'm just tired, and there's other things that I need to do. So we're gonna take a break. I promise I did raid the village. Sorry to leave you on a cliffhanger. I don't find anything like, oh my gosh, look at this, but there's a lot of cool stuff, and the video will be coming out hopefully tomorrow if I can get it edited in time. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm so sorry about the cutoff. I will be better about my time management next time, and I will not release or attempt to release hour-long videos. Anyways, you guys have a great rest of your night. Sorry about the late upload and the unfinished video, but I hope you have a good one. Sleep well. Don't watch this the second it comes out, because that's how I'm going to know you're up too late. Bye.